Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. I'll tell you what, there's been all kinds of questions thrown at me and concerning this last video and other things in general about preparation for coming to Thailand. And I think I have the 10, okay? I have the 10 best tips for preparing to come to Thailand. So stay tuned. Number 10 is a doozy. It's breaking down a lot of different things. It probably could be another 10, but hang on to the end of this video because number 10 is a doozy. You're gonna wanna hear it. All right. Depending on where you're going to go and how long you're going to stay at certain locations are going to depend on whether you're going to get reservations or not. But your first night in Thailand, you have to have reservations. You have to have an address of where you're going to stay when you're coming through customs and immigrations, okay? And so the thing to think about when you come to Thailand is, does your money go further? Absolutely. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why so many people come to Thailand. People ask all the time about, is it getting more expensive in Thailand? Yes, it is. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I think prices are up everywhere, but there's certain things here that they just don't seem like inflation has affected them, okay? Things as simple as, let's say, a bot bus. Bot bus 10 years ago cost 10 baht. Today it costs 10 baht. And the same thing for hotels. You can find a really great hotel here for 1,000 baht. And when I was first coming here, you can find a really great hotel for 1,000 baht. If you're out eating and you want a lasagna dinner like you would get back in New York or Chicago or wherever you're from, and you're going to pay more, and that's where inflationary prices come into play versus me going down the corner and getting a plate of pad thai and it costs me 40 baht or $1. So all right, so there's all kinds of links in the description below, including one if you felt like buying me a cup of coffee or a beer or a margarita. There's a link there for that as well. So, number 1, accommodations. All right. Consider upgrading your stay while in Thailand. I'll tell you what. I was searching Agoda the other day and finding examples for you of what hotels cost in Bangkok versus Pattaya. And I only use those 2 cities. There's lots of destinations all over Thailand, okay? And I don't want you to limit yourself to just those 2 cities. But I use them as an example. Say, I used to come here and I wanted to stay cheap. And I didn't really enjoy my accommodations like you can. Is I looked at, let's say, number 1, Bangkok, and I looked at what I would consider the number 1 areas of Bangkok, because wherever you're at in Thailand, you want to stay close to where you want to go. And I picked 2 areas, Asok and Nana. Okay, they're both right on Sukhumvit, very popular tourist areas. Okay, so in Asok, I picked the Red Planet. Actually, very nice. Is a 3-star hotel, $28 a night. There's a place out there called S Box. Again, that's another 3-star. Okay, but it has breakfast included. All right, breakfast included, $28 a night, and it has nothing but great ratings. S box is rated 8.5. And then, if you haven't subscribed yet, all right, or you haven't given me that big thumbs up, please give me that big thumbs up. You know, that big thumbs up means a lot to me, and it's going to make you feel good. Now, let's switch to Nana, okay, and we're going to go to the other end of the scale. Okay, there's all kinds of hotels there, there's no doubt about it. The next one is 5-star, okay, 5-star. It's the Landmark, okay, and it is right on Sukhumvit. The Landmark, $121 a night. Let's switch to Pattaya, and it's called the Divari, okay, $42 a night. It has a 8.1 rating. It has a free breakfast. A beautiful, I saw the pictures anyway, a beautiful breakfast buffet. It sits right on the ocean in John. When we go to the upper end of that scale, okay, North Pattaya, beautiful property. It's called Siam. They have this beautiful rooftop bar and restaurant and pool. It's stunning. Siam, $73 a night by us. Okay, over at, this is North Pattaya again, a place called Cozy. Now Cozy is sitting right in front of the Grand Mirage, okay, on Wagamat Beach. Cozy, they have a 9.0 rating, $28 a night. I'm telling you, you come to Thailand, it's the same way everywhere in Thailand, okay? Upgrade your stay. Enjoy your stay. If you're here on a budget and want to save every baht or every penny, do it. You can do it. All right. On to number 2. Number 2 may seem like common sense, but I just want to put it out there, okay? No drugs. No illegal drugs. All right. Now, the thing to remember is that recently Thailand has introduced cannabis as a legal. It's supposed to be used for medical use only, but keep in mind there's shops everywhere, and you can go into just on my street here. There's at least 2 shops within 100 meters of me that I could buy cannabis if I wanted to. Know what you're getting. If you decide to partake in the cannabis, we had one guy out on his balcony that was throwing his refrigerator over the balcony into the streets. He was just going out of his mind. And later he said, you know, it was from the cannabis that he smoked, and the doctors and everybody else felt like maybe it was laced with something else. Can that happen? Absolutely. So definitely be careful. You're responsible for yourself. All right. Number three, eat locally. I'll tell you, look up all the dishes in Thailand that you want to try, okay? Make a list of them, and then go out and look for them on the streets. That's the way to do it, okay? Don't get stuck into eating pad Thai everywhere you go, because that's the only dish you know. All right. When I go out and eat street food in general, I want it to be hot, okay? I want, if it's hanging there on the cart, if it's whatever it is, I want them to cook it for me, okay? Because I don't know how long it's been hanging there, for number one. If you're thinking bacteria and that, could that happen? Sure. But you want to kill it, okay? And grill it, boil it, whatever the circumstances are, cook my food. Enjoy the food here, okay? Did you come here to eat McDonald's? No, nobody does, you know, but a lot of people go there. And it may be convenience or whatever. A lot of people, every morning they get up and go to Starbucks, okay? But they have these great coffee vendors right on the street that'll make you a fresh coffee or latte or cappuccino or anything that you want at Thai Coffee. And it's going to cost you, let's say, $1 for your coffee. Or you can go to Starbucks, okay, and it's going to cost you $5. When you're talking about eating locally, you have everything from street vendors. You have, let's say, the markets. You'll have a group of vendors that all gather together, and there may be 20 of them or there may be 300 of them. They are definitely the places to go, because these guys are competing against each other. So there's going to be different prices and that type of stuff. Now, when you're dealing with food, okay, Thailand is a bartering country for sure. But when it comes to food, we don't barter for our food here in Thailand, okay? They have a set price, and they may compete amongst each other, okay? But the food's already cheap enough. And of course, there's all these small shops that are on the front of buildings and that type of stuff. A lot of times they have small tables and stools available. They have free water, that type of stuff. They're basically no-name shops unless they have a sign, a vinyl sign out there saying who they are. Most of these shops have been on that same street corner for years upon years, and if you see they have 20 people or more eating at their place, it means they're probably pretty good. So number 4, okay, money. What are you going to do about money? You can, okay, but I would recommend really bringing in approximately $5,000 cash, okay, and I wouldn't keep it all in one spot on you. Kind of break that up into smaller amounts, exchange cash at different exchange booths all over Thailand. But if you're traveling outside the major tourist destinations, make sure you have 10,000 baht on you while you're traveling, because there may not be another exchange booth out where you're at. Now, more than likely there's going to be ATMs. Now, I'm not a big proponent of using a credit card, but other people say that's the only way to go. Credit cards, ATM, debit cards, they come with fees, number one. You should expect an international fee from your home bank, and that's probably around 3%. ATMs in Thailand are set to charge you a fee of 220 baht per transaction. Now, most people recommend taking the highest amount of money you can take from the ATM per transaction. Number 5. All right, wherever you're going in Thailand, you're going to have a great time, okay? I always recommend finding a spot that you can base out of and explore from there, all right? But how do you explore? Now, in my opinion, everybody's going to have a different view when it comes to riding a motorbike, okay? These are small motorbikes. You can get them, let's say, 115 cc all the way up, let's say 300. It'll get 100 miles to the gallon, and it's comfortable and that sort of thing. But you don't need as big a bike as I have. They have plenty of 125s and 135s available that'll do just fine, okay? And they're not going to cost as much. A couple things to note about motorbikes. While you're in your country, get an international driver's license. Easy. In the U.S., we used to go to the AAA. This is something for if you're here and you've rented a motorbike or you've rented a car. Be patient with traffic, okay? Expect traffic to do the opposite of what it's supposed to do. Keep your head on a swivel. Expect the unexpected, all right? And try to have fun doing what you're doing. Number 5, believe it or not, English is not the language in Thailand. So, what are you going to do? You're going to survive. And that's what you're going to do. All right. Use Google Translate when you need to. All right. But you can prepare yourself a little bit. Okay. Have fun with this. Learn some simple Thai phrases. Okay, get online. There's plenty of them out there without having to pay money or anything like that to learn how to say hello. Okay, which is also goodbye in Thailand. There are things that you can do now to better prepare yourself for when you arrive in Thailand. Now, let me start out by saying that the way, okay, the way is putting your hands together, touching the tip of your nose, maybe using your thumbs down under your chin like this here, keeping your fingers together, okay, and bowing towards somebody like this here, okay. This is a simple greeting. That's when you want to know somebody, or if you walk into a restaurant, or if you're meeting anybody, you should always use the way, okay, or the why as part of your greeting. Jump into the Thai culture, and that's one of the number one things you can do that's going to impress everybody. Okay, your friends are going to say, where'd you learn that? Okay, and the people that you do this to are immediately going to do the same thing back to you, and it's mutual respect is what it is. When you wave to somebody, you're probably going to generate a smile response, and they're going to do the same thing back to you. Okay, as a form of respect, a way to not lose face. It's a happy, joyful thing to do. All right, it's positive. It's a positive thing to do in Thailand. And then if you could learn a simple few words, hello or goodbye is the same word. Okay, and it's going to be swadi, swadi. So it's like SAWADEE. All right. Anyway, and with that, being that I'm a man, okay, I'm going to add the word krup, okay, and it's KRUP onto the end of it. Okay, so swadi krup, that means hello or goodbye. All right, and if I add the way to it, is this here, swadi krup, it's perfect. Another thing is, if you're a lady, okay, female, okay, you're not going to add krup to the end of your line. You're going to say ka, K-A, ka. And so if you're doing the same thing with your way, it's swadi ka, okay. And if you're saying that to a man, he's going to return it as swadi krop. There's lots of phrases and things out there that you could learn, that you could improve your vacation or holiday by learning these words. Okay, all kinds of words that you can learn and prepare yourself for before you get to Thailand. And if you do it, you're going to have so much more fun because you're immersing yourself into the Thai culture from day one. Now, let me mention, most professional places, okay, if you're at the airport or at a hotel, or even you get a toothache and have to go to the dentist, most people in those areas all speak English. Okay, so number 6. When you're planning your itinerary, okay, try to stay flexible with your plans. You're going to find out, once you immerse yourself into this Thai culture and everything, that there's a thing called Thai time. Okay, it used to drive me crazy. Why people are not on time. When we said let's meet at 10 o'clock, why is it 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock before we actually meet? In Thailand, things come up with the other party, and you just have to adapt. Okay, you have to be flexible when you're in Thailand. Yeah, that's the main thing. You have to remember that Thailand, it may be, you may plan on going someplace, okay, and the next day the forecast was wrong, and it is extremely hot out. It's 120 degrees. You're planning on going out and riding elephants. It's too hot for the elephants, or it may be unhealthy for you to be out there as well. Okay, we have a thing called air quality here in Thailand, and sometimes it's absolutely beautiful here, like today. Okay, air quality here is probably less than 50 today, but there's times when the air quality is unsafe to go outside. Why is that? It's a whole bunch of things, and people will tell you a bunch of different things. I think it's mainly pollution that's blown in from China or things like that, but it happens, okay? And you have to be, if something doesn't work out in your itinerary plan for today, well, maybe you can do it tomorrow, okay? Or maybe you can switch the things that you're going to do tomorrow for today. Rain comes out of nowhere, and especially if you're here during monsoon season. So be prepared for things like that. All right, be prepared. All right, think ahead. And with that in mind, I never wear long pants here, okay? But with you traveling, you want to definitely pack light, okay? Because there's laundry facilities everywhere, or people that'll do laundry for you very, very cheaply. The things that I would definitely recommend for somebody coming here that's never been here, go out and find you one of these super lightweight pair of pants. It's super breathable, and there's going to be times when you go to a tourist destination that require modesty, okay, things like covering your knees or covering your shoulders. There's places that if you're out riding a motorbike or something like that and it starts raining, or it gets in the evening, in the high season it starts getting cool, a pair of pants would be nice. And even in the evening or early morning, mosquitoes, okay? Mosquitoes are a real problem here, okay? And you want to protect yourself against mosquitoes, so be prepared. All right, number 7. Submerge yourself into the Thai culture. You want to learn the things that you're not supposed to do. You don't want to be pointing at people, for instance. You don't want to point with your finger. You definitely never want to point with your toe or your foot. Okay, that's the lowest part of the body, and that's the way that Thais look at it. It's a bad deal. All right, you want to respect. You want to respect the monarchy here, the King of Thailand. Okay, so your opinion, the king, should be kept to yourself. Okay, you want to respect the government, and you want to respect Buddhism. With those three, will definitely get you into trouble. Okay, and you don't want trouble here. You're on vacation. You're on holiday. You're here to have fun, enjoy yourself. Stay away from that. Stay away from trouble. All right. If it comes to fighting, you don't fight here. Okay, you just don't do it. Every time it's going to be your fault. And I don't care if a Thai person did something wrong to you. Okay, it's one thing to defend yourself, but you can block a punch and then walk away from it. Temples in Thailand are a major deal here. I mean, they date back thousands of years, and you will have such a great time just opening up your mind and going out and visiting these places. All right, it is number 8. Look, my tremors are not too bad today. Okay, so everybody knows I have essential tremors, and some days they're just worse than others. All right, but number 8. Okay, it's what is the best time to come to Thailand? I always tell my friends, what are you doing today? Okay, but if you need to be here during a certain period of time, November through, let's say, February. It's the high season for sure, but it's also the dry season, and it's a time of the year when the temperatures are cooler. Okay, and it's just a beautiful time to be here. Okay, so there's other seasons. March through April, May time frame. You have the hot season, the time when it's really going to be hot out, and it's hot all the time in Thailand. Okay, there's no doubt about it. But this is a specific time when it really gets hot, and you can step outside and the humidity's like 100%. You start sweating immediately. Yeah, so it's a good time to travel because it's low season. Prices drop significantly. There's less tourists around, and you can do a lot of things. You can explore a lot of things, and don't have to wait for lines and things like that. So it's a possible time to come here and check out Thailand. Okay, and then you jump into pretty much the wet season. Okay. And the wet season, basically, let's say the end of May, runs all the way through October. The last few months of that, September, October, is monsoon season. Okay, so then you get really wet. So, anyway, there's no really bad times to travel in Thailand, but be aware of those seasons. Okay. For me personally, I think you need to come here when a festival is going to happen. Okay, you don't have to plan your trip around festivals, but come here while there's something going on. I mean, if it's April, it's Songkran, a water fight festival type thing. There, everybody's just having a ball. Okay. Later on in the year, you have Loy Krathong. We just finished it. It's the end of November. Yeah, it's a great party in itself. There's full moon parties every month, and there's islands that have these massive. They're well known for these massive parties. We just got done with the Elephant Festival up in Surin, and there's a hot air festival here in Thailand, and there's a candle festival, and there's festivals all over Thailand, and to come here and be a part of one of those festivals is definitely the thing to do. Number 9. How are you going to travel? Okay. Now, I'm not talking about from your home country to here. We assume you're going to come here by airplane. All right. But when you travel here, okay, how are you going to get around? And of course, you could rent a motorbike, okay, and I told you about having an international driver's license. That goes for a car as well, if you feel confident enough to drive on the other side of the road. Now, depends on where you're at, okay. If you're in the U.S., we drive on the right-hand side of the road, and here in Thailand, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. If you go across the border into Laos, you're back on the right-hand side of the road. So, if you feel comfortable driving on the left-hand side of the road here, and you feel comfortable being in high traffic conditions a lot of the time, then running a car is definitely the way to go. I would make sure that anytime you're renting a vehicle, though, that you have full coverage on it that covers like medical insurance for you and your whoever you're with, covers the entire cost of the car and things like that. Also, you have buses here. You have trains. You can rent a van with a personal driver. There's lots of different options. You can even join a tour group and ride a bus with a bunch of other like-minded people. And there's always the option of traveling by airplane, okay, while you're in Thailand. If you're traveling, let's say from Bangkok, for instance, to Chiang Mai, now, driving there may be exciting, and if you have the time, definitely do that. Okay, rent a car and drive there. It'll probably take you a couple days. All right, it's probably only 10 hours or so, but you'll enjoy the sightseeing along the way. But if you don't have that amount of time, an airplane's going to take 1 hour to get there. All right, number 10, probably one of the most important things that people don't think about right away is their cell phone. Okay, so some phones now you can use an eSIM. Okay, and I'll put a link in my description below about that. But so that's a possibility. But most people here, when they arrive at the airport, will go up to AIS, that's a company, AIS or DTAC, and buy a foreigner's travel SIM, okay, which gives you unlimited data, okay, for the period you're going to be here, and calling based on how much of a load that you put on the phone. Let's say you put $3 or $5 worth of load on the phone. You can call several times to the U.S. from Thailand on that money with no problem. Okay, so don't overload the phone. Another thing you want to do, check to see if the app Grab is available for download, okay, in whatever country you're in. And if it isn't, you want to make a note that as soon as you get your SIM card in Thailand, that you automatically download this app called Grab. Okay. Another app you want to download is the app called Bolt. Okay. I'll put a link in the description below for both of those apps as well. Grab is a transportation app. It's a food app. It's something that's used widely in Thailand. You can look that up online. It's a fantastic app. You definitely want to use it. If your main purpose is traveling to Thailand for tourism, okay, and you're going to be here for 30 days or less, you can arrive on a visa on arrival. You don't have to do anything ahead of time. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. But if you're going to stay longer than that, okay, you need to get a visa through the Thai embassy. Expect the sun to be hot, okay? And having a good hat that covers the top of your head or your ears or the back of your neck is always a good thing to have in Thailand. Wear comfortable shoes. Wear shoes that are easy to take off and on. When you arrive in Thailand, you're going to see that there's many places that you go into, whether they're a business or a home, or even maybe your own hotel room, okay? But if you see shoes left outside of a door, that means you need to take off your shoes. Another thing that I would pack and that I use personally, or when I'm in Thailand, and especially when I'm on the beach, is I wear water booties, similar to what scuba divers would wear. But you can find really cheap water shoes that work just as good. Bonus tip, okay? Now, you definitely need to take care of this all before you come to Thailand. But have fun doing it, all right? Now, I've mentioned in another video before about how I pack when I travel in Thailand, okay? I carry a 3-day bag, okay? This is my 3-day bag. It's been all over the world, and I probably should replace it by now. For whatever reason, I've become attached to things. There's 2 items in this bag that are essential for my travel everywhere I go. The number one, it's always in the same pockets. I'm just that way. But in this pocket here, I have extension cord. Now, it's a regular 2-prong extension cord. All right. And 90% of the time, it will fit in every outlet that I need it to fit in, okay? When you're in the airport, for instance, okay, and there's an outlet that's 2 feet away from you, okay? I want to say this cord here, it's one of these cheap cords. I probably bought it at Walmart 20 years ago. This cord is about 2 meters long. So what's that, about 8 feet. And I can plug it in and bring the cord to me wherever I'm sitting in the airport or whatever. And I can have my phone near me instead of leaving it back charged next to the outlet with 20 other people sitting around it, okay? So that's one thing. When you're in your hotel room, I don't know how many times I've been in a hotel room and they have either the outlet down behind a nightstand or behind the bed or something like that, which makes it really inconvenient as far as charging a phone, for instance, or any other type of electronics that you need to charge overnight. With one of these here, you can extend that charging length to your nightstand. Okay. Another thing, I mean, it could be whether the outlet was over by the chair or across the room by the makeup table or somewhere else. Having an extension cord with you just makes your life better. Now, number two, this is something you're going to have to get when you're in Thailand. Okay, you're going to have to go to the local 7-Eleven or Tops Market or any type of convenience store. Okay, and they're going to have one of these here. And what you want to be looking for, it's a plug-in style mosquito killer, okay, that you can put in your room. Now, again, mosquitoes are everywhere, but the last thing you want to be doing is laying down in bed and hear this noise. Okay, I plug it in as soon as I get into the room. And I just let it run all the time, whether I'm in the room or not. Okay, now when I'm traveling in Thailand, I have another pouch on this side, and it has my mosquito plug-in in there. Okay, and the nice thing about these plug-ins, the plug-in actually turns in two different directions. Okay, so it makes it easy to plug it in. They have a screw-off top, so you can just attach it and it's good to go. Anyway, these things are awesome. I don't know how many times I went out for the evening, came back, and saw a dead mosquito laying on the floor or on the bed or something like that. And I know this saved that bite. So that's just one of the things that you can do that's very easy. I think this costs about, let's say $2, something like that. And a refill, now this one here lasts 30 days. Okay, very last tip. When you're checking into a hotel, more than likely they're going to give you a key card, okay, for your room. And when you enter the room, you need to put that key card in the slot next to the door to turn on the electricity. Now, when you leave the room, you have to take your key card with you to get back in, right? Okay, well, for me, I always ask for a second key card. There's a couple reasons for that. I like to leave things plugged in while I'm gone and having them charging. For instance, I want the aircon on, so when I walk back in the room, it's cold already. I don't have a hot room that I have to wait for it to get cool. In most rooms, the refrigerator isn't tied to the electricity being turned off for the room. Most rooms, the refrigerator that's in the room, if it has a refrigerator, will be tied to a live circuit, and you can leave things in the refrigerator and don't worry about them going bad or getting warm. Okay, but there are places that the refrigerator turns off as soon as the electricity, the card's pulled out. So I always ask for an additional card. Even if I have to pay an additional deposit, it's worth it to me. Now, if the place doesn't want to issue another card, I always leave the key in the door slot. Okay, if I don't have an extra key, then the front desk manager can come up and let me in. Safe travels in Thailand. Stay happy, enjoy yourself, have a great trip. This place, it's called the Land of Smiles for a reason, because you look at people and they're going to smile at you. Okay, smiling in Thailand is contagious. It's easy to do. All right, thank you. Now this is a shot from my balcony, and it's probably at least 100 meters away, but you can see all the people down in the swim area. Now this is late in the morning, but every morning I come out and watch all these people. There's usually 2 or 3 times as many people in the swim area. enjoying clean water on Wagamat Beach.